I will promise you, like 99 times out of 100, the person who doubles down in one single business is going to have far greater returns and success than the entrepreneur that thinks they're going to split their time and diversify themselves across multiple different business units. Welcome to the Ecomm Breakthrough Podcast. I'm Josh Hadley. I've scaled my own e-commerce brand from 0 to 8 figures, and I'm actively building towards 9 figures in sales. This podcast is where I document that journey and share the systems, the strategies, and the lessons learned in real time so that you can learn what actually matters and scale your own business. In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you guys exactly what I'm saying no to in my business right now. That is one of the most important things as it relates to business strategy as a whole. I think that business strategy is less, these are the things that I am doing, and it's much more about, these are the things that I am specifically not doing in my business and why. Business strategy is ultimately, hey, there are 1,000,001 different opportunities, but there are limited resources. And so really it's prioritizing which of those 1,000,001 opportunities do I actually want to take on with my limited time, resources, and ability to be able to go execute. Because in general, if you want to see something really succeed, you've got to put some significant amount of time and energy and thought process behind it. So today I'm going to be sharing the 5 things that I'm saying no to in my own business. And I'm sharing this after coming off of the heels of 3 different events that I've attended within the last 2 weeks. So over the last 2 weeks, I've attended a few different mastermind groups, some with e-commerce specific people involved and others with just kind of general entrepreneurs who are all over 7-figure sellers. So here are some of like the takeaways. And I heard this over and over again at multiple events. I continue to hear people that they already have a successful business, and yet they want to scratch this additional itch. And I think it's like an entrepreneur syndrome. Like we all want this. It's like that shiny object syndrome where, hey, we get one business up and going, then we want to go do another one. And we have this idea for another thing. Alex Hormozi talks about this really, really well. There's probably 1,000 different like business opportunities that I myself personally could get into and be successful in. Like there truly are. Like there's an infinite number of business opportunities that I could do. However, I'm not going to be able to have the opportunity to do all 1,000 or all 100 of those business ideas that I might have in my lifetime. Really, if I want to see things come to full fruition, I've only got maybe like 3 plays left in my entire life. If I actually want to go all in deep and actually build something that is significant and meaningful, where it's impacting hopefully millions of other people's lives. So with that being said, it's much more about like, what are you saying no to rather than trying to chase all the shiny objects. So this is kind of the consistent pattern and theme that I heard from other entrepreneurs. I have this successful business, but then I also have this like passion project that I would like to get started on. However, I don't know if that's the right business venture that I should be going after or what I need to actually make that other business venture succeed. What are your thoughts? What do you think I should do? And when I was speaking to this specific entrepreneur, I told them, I was like, well, what's the goal of your current business that's actually doing multi-millions of dollars right now? And the goal was to go exit in the next 3 years. And I said, then stop doing everything else. Go get your business ready to exit. Like stop trying to build the next thing before that season of life presents itself. And I think that's kind of like the epitome of entrepreneurs. It's, hey, I am going to go exit. But before I exit, I want to make sure I have another $1 million business on the side that I could then oversee at that point. And again, what happens is if you have a multi-million-dollar business today, and then you're going to go start another side project in the hopes of, hey, when you exit this other one, this other side project's now going to be ready for your time and attention. You've now diluted your focus across 2 different businesses. And now guess what? Both of them are not going to live up to their full potential. I will promise you, like 99 times out of 100, the person who doubles down in one single business is going to have far greater returns and success than the entrepreneur that thinks they're going to split their time and diversify themselves across multiple different business units. So that's kind of the story and the frame of reference that I'm coming from as I share with you the 5 things I'm saying no to in my business. So number 1, what is the key thing I am saying no to? This has been a fundamental change for me as a business owner, but I am saying no to more product launches than I ever have before in the history of our business. When we first were launching products on Amazon, if it could sell a few hundred units a month, I was all in. And I didn't care necessarily about the opportunity, what the market upside looked like. I just cared about hey, could I go make a buck? And could I sell a few hundred units a month on Amazon? And that was like hitting like little base hits in baseball, right? Is it going to score you a bunch of runs? Well, if you hit enough base hits consecutively, yes, you will begin to score runs. But on the flip side, if you try to swing for the fence more often and actually try to hit home runs, you're going to score far more faster than you would if you're just trying to hit singles one after another. And so honestly, that's kind of been like the story of our business, is like launching one single after another, after another, after another. But what I have learned is, yes, we have thrown in a few home run swings in between all of hitting those singles. And guess what? The home run swings are way outperforming all of the other kind of like little singles that we've been hitting. And now guess what I'm seeing in my business? Those singles that I thought, oh, this is good, we'll just grab a couple hundred units here and there across multiple categories. Look, we have a SKU catalog over 1,600 SKUs. I used to see that as a badge of honor. Now I actually see that as the biggest constraint in my business, because now I have dedicated sales team members that are managing all of those products, and they probably need to stop managing over 80% of those products today. And so that, like, as I met with my team today and many of the conversations we had, said, guys, the constraint to the business is all about focus right now. It's not, hey, how do we make every single product win? It's how do we double down, triple down, if not quadruple down on the ones that are actually winning, that are driving significant impact in the business today. So I am happy to say that as we go through our product research and development process, if it does not have a large TAM or total addressable market, I am saying no to a lot more of those product opportunities now. Ultimately, what once was, hey, I just want to see if something will succeed on Amazon, just a few hundred units a month, I am now saying I need to see that it sells thousands of units a month on Amazon. I also want to know that it sells thousands of units a month on Shopify. And I also want to know that there are competitors that are crushing it or have a similar product on TikTok Shop, and they're selling thousands of units a month. If I can check all three of those boxes, now that's a large, like, total addressable market that I can go after, and I'm excited about that. So I'm proud to say I have retired the hitting bunts and singles for the business, and we are all in on taking much bigger swings, and that's going to be the only way that we could scale to a $100 million business. And by the way, guess what? If we want to get into retail stores don't want the little bunts and they don't want the singles. They have limited shelf space and inventory that they can bring into the store. And so they're always going to choose the product that sells thousands of units a month over the product that maybe moves a couple hundred units a month in their stores. So again, not only will this help us succeed in our own business in the e-com space, but when it comes time to pull the trigger for retail distribution, we're going to have much better products that meet the demand of a much broader audience and arguably allow us to command that space in a retail shop. So that's number one. So what's number two that I am saying no to in the business? Well, it coincides with that. I'm no longer trying to force all 1,600 plus SKUs to actually scale and succeed on Amazon. So again, I have gone through a process, and I'm actually going to pull up a slide here that basically shows you like my frame and mindset of like the prioritization that I shared with my team. So this is the momentum matrix for our products. So this is what I have shared with my team. Really, we have 4 different types of buckets for our products. And every single one of our products has to fall in one of these buckets. So let's start in bucket number 4 and work our way up to the top. Well, bucket number 4, these are the products that have very little profit. If we look over the course of the last year, these are products that have been making like probably less than $5,000 in profit, or in fact, they've actually been losing us money. So if you're not looking at your like SKU by SKU level profitability, like you probably have a lot of products that are actually like just eating into your margins. And sure enough, there was a good number of those for us. So these are the products that we're going to sunset or kill. Okay. They also are products that have operational headaches. They're really tricky to do inventory forecasting for. They're not necessarily aligned with our brand, and they may have like complex seasonality with them. A great example of like a product that we're like getting rid of right now is like we were doing Christmas cards, and Christmas cards, like, did we make a profit? Yes, we made a profit. However, the amount of time it took my sales team to fully focus on that product, they spent 3 months getting the listings launched and ready and primed for peak season. And then when peak season comes around, it's like, great, we netted like 10 grand. And I look at that and I look at the trade-off, it's an opportunity cost, and say, what if my sales team would have put that same level of effort and impact into some of my top performing SKUs? I think we would have been able to generate way more than $10,000 in profit, and it would have been a heck of a lot easier, and they would have just been adamantly focused on what all is already winning for us. So again, saying no to those products, again, it's hard to do because it's technically profitable. And so it's hard to say like, yeah, screw the $10,000, but like, that's what I'm saying because I want to chase after the $100,000 or $1 million like profit line items in the business. Okay. So bucket number 4, what we're actually doing with these products is like, there's minimal to no marketing, like PPC cost goes down to 0. Nobody is actively managing these SKUs. We're just like trying to liquidate them or we want to go out of stock and never reorder these products ever again. And everything's just like set up on automated rules for us so that the sales team doesn't even spend any of their time focused on any of those products. That's an extremely important bucket to like clarify with your sales team so that again, they're not spending their time on losing products for you. Bucket number 3, this is our maintenance or harvest bucket. And these are SKUs that they make decent money, right? So let's call it like maybe $10,000, $50,000 in net profit, but there's a limited TAM. There's a limited total addressable market for those products. So even if we were to pick up, like, what if we were able to double our market share? How much more additional profit would that bring? Well, let's say if I'm already doing like, let's say $20,000 in profit for this product, but then like, hey, if we put forth a significant amount of effort and we go all in with PPC and creator strategies and influencers and meta ads and things like that, yeah, I think we could pick up an extra like 50% of the market share. So we could effectively grow our net profit by 50%. So now we go from 20,000 to 30,000. Again, how meaningful is that? Now, for earlier stage 7-figure brands, like, yeah, that could be meaningful. But for us on our path to $100 million, like that incremental gain of $10,000, but the amount of time and effort focused on trying to like basically own the entire market for a small market opportunity product is not as impactful as, again, if I could go into my bucket number 1 products where it's like that same level of effort, time, attention, creator strategies, meta strategies actually ends up netting me an increase of $100,000 in net profit, right? Again, it's just this opportunity cost that you have to go through again and again and again. Okay, so what are we doing with these? These are the products, like, again, they don't support the future vision of the brand. They are profitable niches in and of themselves, but they don't require too much time and attention. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some light marketing. My team will manage these, but only like maybe 10% of their time per week do I want them even focused or touching these products. Okay, most of them are on automated bidding rules, on PPC campaigns. We're not doing a whole lot of like main image optimizations, no title optimizations or bullets. Like, we're just not spending that level of time and effort on those products because any incremental gain in that conversion rate, even if we double the conversion rate, that $10,000 of additional profit is less meaningful than the tests and focus that I would have for bucket number 1. So let's move to bucket number 2. What are these products? So these are like the profit engines of the business. Okay. They do generate a strong profit for the business. They have predictable seasonality. They are proven winners. We're doing over $50,000 in profit per year on these products. It's great. And some of these are doing well over 6 figures in profit per year. Fantastic. But they do not define the direction of the brand. And what I mean by that is, over the course of a decade of launching product after product on Amazon, are all of these product opportunities that we found 100% aligned with who we are as a brand? No, they're not. They were once upon a time a really profitable niche that I found and discovered. That's great. So the way I see these is like, these are like the cash cows to the business. Like, if I were to like not focus on them and lose profit, like, that hurts to lose 6 figures in profit. I don't care what level of business you are, like 6 figures of profit is hard to like just give up overnight. Okay. But what do we do with these products? So we have a moderate level of marketing for these. We are going to test the conversion rate. So with main images, title changes, bullet changes, we are going to do those, but they're not going to be on like a consistent basis. They will be over more of like maybe they're changes that are happening every other week, not changes that are happening every day or every other day or something like that. Okay. There are also products where it's okay if we go out of stock on some of these, but for limited periods of time. Okay. And then again, there's little to no experimentation. We're sticking to like a consistent playbook because the purpose of these products is just being a cash cow. Because it's not the future direction of the brand, I'm not heavily investing into their future or a ton of new variations with these SKUs. I'm just saying, hey, let's continue to maintain and harvest the profit, make it profitable. So we're actively managing the PPC campaigns. We're actively testing the pricing and things like that because we just want to draw in the profit for those products. Okay, that brings us to bucket number 1, which is the most important bucket. When I say business strategy is about identifying like what products and what you actually want to prioritize and focus on, this is the one bucket that I want my entire sales team to spend over 50, 60% of their time every week in this bucket exclusively. And guess what? There's a very limited number of SKUs and product categories that fall into this bucket. Last I counted, I think we have like 10. So with that being said, these are clearly brand aligned SKUs for the business. This is the future of the business. If you were to say, hey, what is your business to an external customer? Like they would rattle off one of these top products that they've seen. Okay. And it's because like it's truly aligned with like the vision and mission that we have for our brand. Okay. There's high potential to scale. That means there's a large total addressable market. Like I said, somebody's going viral with those types of products on TikTok. They're succeeding on Meta. They're also succeeding on Amazon, doing thousands of units in every single one of those channels per month. Okay. They're also designed to become category leaders, and they also drive LTV of our products. So what does LTV mean? Lifetime value of the customer. So like, is it an entry point where they buy one product and then after they get that product, they're going to need another product after that, and we have the perfect fit for that next product that they need? If it follows a very consistent customer journey, those are the types of products that we adamantly want to focus and continue to grow and scale. So we're aggressive with our marketing on these. We're aggressive with our creators and influencer marketing on these products. And then we also are going to aggressively relaunch SKU after SKU to continue to support these products over here with variations, to continue to gobble up more market share, because we see there's even more room to run, even probably more than what's existing in the market if we can go manufacture more demand. So again, that's a long answer to say we are no longer focused on trying to make every product win. We are only focused on, really, it's not even the 80-20 principle. It's like the 5-95 principle, where it's like the top 5% of our products are driving 95% of the revenue and the profit of the business. So that's where I want my time and my entire team's time focused on supporting those products. So the third thing that I am saying no to right now is low leverage sales channels. I'm going to rattle off a few examples right now, but Temu, Shein, even Walmart, and I would also argue sometimes like international expansion. Okay. Amazon international expansion can be good, but is it a high leverage or is it a low leverage opportunity for you? So similarly, I've given my team kind of this guideline as well, and you can see it in this slide. Here's my momentum matrix for sales channels. Okay. Bucket number 4 are like heavy distraction sales channels. These require like heavy customization, like lots of operational complexity. They don't materially move the needle in terms of revenue. It requires you personally to have to show up. Good examples of this would be like trade shows, farmers markets, boutique retail storefronts, things like that, where again, can you do it? Yes, but it's a whole other animal. And again, it's not as scalable. So we sunset those. We don't even debate. Bucket number 3, these are opportunistic sales channels, but like there's a small addressable market here. And again, as I look at these, I'm going to say these are like the Sheins, the Temus, the Etsy's, the international expansion, where yeah, you can go pick up, additional sales in the Canadian marketplace. However, the Canadian marketplace is barely 10% of the US marketplace and like the number of customers that are shopping there. So again, like your upside is much more limited. Do you want to have to jump through all of those hoops? And sometimes some of them are easier than others, right? International expansion would probably be easier on Amazon rather than trying to launch, Etsy on its own, for example, because like the entire listing structure is completely different. And again, you're dealing with a much limited upside for that type of product. So they're hard to scale. Manual effort is required. There's low repeatability. They're not compounding. And, ultimately we just we just say no to them. No CEO oversight. We're evaluating these annually to see if it ever makes sense for us. But in general, like we just continue to find more opportunities on the bigger marketplaces and bigger sales channels where there's already like lots of momentum building, not only for the brand, but just for consumers overall. So bucket number 2, these are like the cash engines. So again, these generate meaningful profit. They're predictable demand long-term, limited long-term defensibility, and limited compounding, and operationally more heavy. So wholesale would be one of those, and Walmart would be one of those. I think there is a decent amount of like upside with Walmart. Like they're kind of the next best thing after Amazon, so to speak. But again, there's challenges with that in and of itself. Wholesale, again, very, very big opportunity to get into. However, the operational challenges that go into retail makes it like that much more challenging. And so at a certain point in time, it does make sense to pull those levers, but only after you have exhausted all of your resources in bucket number 1. And so that's where we're going to focus our time. So these are strategic growth engine channels. They have large total addressable markets. Okay. They're scalable without having to add a whole bunch of additional team and headcount. Okay. They have good lifetime value potential. Shopify is the perfect example of that, where you can have customers come back and you own the data and you can upsell them and you can encourage them to come back and buy more. They're brand compounding. You have a repeatable playbook of what works and succeeds with these sales channels. And so what do we do with these sales channels? Good examples of these, the Amazon Marketplace. Good examples of these are the Amazon Marketplace, TikTok Shop, Shopify. These are ones that we aggressively want to scale out. We're going to throw team members at it. CEO is overseeing these sales channels. And so ultimately, we have said no to currently my kind of like omni-channel sales manager. As we looked at Temu and as we looked at Shein and even Walmart, I specifically told them, no, we are going to wait. We are going to actually pull back out of those markets, because the operational complexity to just maintain and to try to stay current and to make sure we have the best optimized titles, listings, bullets for those, the juice is just simply not worth the squeeze. And so for that reason, I want to divert all of my team's attention to focusing on our best sales channels, the ones where we are winning, the ones where we are seeing year over year growth. Those, I know I could grow further and faster than trying to start something brand new right from the get-go, from the start. And so again, that's kind of action item number 3, is I'm saying no to low leverage sales channels. Number 4, this may come as a surprise and will be probably like the most contested and debatable thing that I say, but like all of the AI noise, I am saying no to right now. And that's because I think that a lot of the AI talk is just a whole bunch of noise. Now, that doesn't mean we're not doing anything with AI in the business. In fact, I've got multiple team members on my team that are doing some crazy impressive stuff with AI. They're vibe coding stuff. We have an OpenClaw, things like that. But I will tell you how much time I have invested into OpenClaw or to vibe coding something. And that is a grand total of 0% of my time has been spent there. And why? It's not because I'm burying my head in the sand. It's not because I'm worried that AI is going to take over my job. No, like I know the skill set and the value that I bring to the organization. And for me, I'm not a technical founder. I'm not the guy who nerds out at like coding things or building things from like a technical standpoint. And so knowing myself, I leave that to my team to go nerd out on that. However, I say that with a caveat. The only thing my team is allowed to do with AI is build it for very specific use cases in the business. This is where I see most e-commerce entrepreneurs going wrong right now. And what's happening is many of them are spending like easily 10, 20, even 30 hours a week nerding out on OpenClaw and just kind of like playing around with it. Oh, cool. It can book my flights for me now. Oh, cool. It can now monitor these types of things over here. Or when this VRBO opens up for myself that I've always wanted to get into, it's like, that's great. But the amount of time that you've invested into that and having to troubleshoot all the issues that pop up and just kind of like course correct the system pales in comparison to the amount of time if I can take that same 30 hours and go invest it into new product development or expanding a certain sales channel or making relationships for retail sales, that will outperform all day long. And so that would be my argument. Many of you are focused on, hey, yeah, well, I'm going to be able to run my business as a $100 million brand with 0 team members, and it's just myself and a whole bunch of AI agents. And I just don't think that happens. I think somebody gets lucky and they do that, but I don't think that's sustainable. You need the people. You need the people you're going to have a CTO. If everything is running on bots, you surely are going to have a CTO. You're going to have a software engineer that's troubleshooting all the API connections that constantly break. And so you have to decide, are you a SaaS entrepreneur or are you a physical products brand entrepreneur? and I'm a physical products brand entrepreneur. My time is not best spent coming out with the next new software. And so I think that's what I'm saying no to. And here's the perfect example. Just yesterday, I was in one of the Facebook groups in one of the masterminds that I'm in, and there was a post. It got lots of comments on it, but somebody said, I've just spent the last 4 hours trying to custom code my own sexy dashboard like so many of you are creating, and I just can't get this API thing figured out. And I look at that and I just see like, what a massive waste of time. Because guess what? There are so many other dashboards that are out there today, software as a service. Are they all perfect and are they custom for you? No, but do they get you 80% of the way there? Yeah, 100%. So I want you to ask yourself this question. If I build this quote unquote sexy dashboard and it takes me 20 hours to go do it, is that going to double your business? Yes or no? Because I would argue that 20 hours would be far better invested into new product development, new sales channel distribution development, or creating partnerships with new people, okay? New creators, new TikTok affiliates, new influencers. Like that stuff isn't going away, and that compounds time after time after time. So I'm saying no to AI, not in my entire business, but for me, not getting distracted with the noise of feeling like, oh, I'm being left behind. People are building all these cool dashboards. Surely I need to go dabble and play around with this. I know enough about Claude Cowork and all of that stuff to be dangerous. So I'm not going to be like overtaken by the competition that fully uses AI. And we have team members that are actively doing it in the business, but only for things that drive growth in the business, period. That is the leverage of AI that I am focused on, is like, will this help me grow sales? Yes or no? If it's not going to help me drive sales, I'm not interested in that AI project. My fifth and final thing that I am currently saying no to is making every creator work. So we have a significant amount of creators on our TikTok shop, and we have actually over 5,000. Similar to the products, what I have seen is it's 5% that actually return 95% of the revenue and profits on TikTok shop. 5% of the creators are generating 95% of the views for our products. So what do you think I'm doing there? Well, once upon a time, it was trying to cater to all 5,000 creators, sending messages out to everybody on our email list. It was messaging everybody in our WhatsApp community. But now the focus is, how do I work with the top ones? And so I'm saying no to providing an exceptional experience for every single one of our 5,000 creators, because guess what? If I have to provide an exceptional service for all 5,000 creators, it's not going to be that great. But I can provide an exceptional level of service and intimate connection with just the top 5%. And so that's what I'm saying no to. And again, that could be applied to so many different things throughout life. And so again, this goes back to the principle that I always go back to in every single podcast episode, which is focus and systems scale your business while distraction kills your business. Remember, focus and systems scale while your distractions are killing you. If you found value in this, please leave me a review here. Make sure you drop this episode in another one of your mastermind groups. Share it with an operator who needs to see it. I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.